Well, we've had 2 games already in this best of 3. Don't know that I'd call either of them competitive, though, as EG flat out ran over Virtus.pro in game 1. And VP, well, they swung from the shoelaces and had a pretty clean shot at EG in game 2 as well. Both of those games right around 25 minutes, all the time it took for either team to take a win. Now the thrilling conclusion to our first best of 3 of the day. Virtus.pro taking on EG. The draft underway. Darkseer Crystal Maiden going to be picked up by Virtus.pro. VP really liking the way that DS felt in game 1. Going to go right back to the well another time. While EG snags up 2 of the more popular 6.79 heroes all at once. Pugna and Earthshaker to break down the draft and, of course, lend his insight and analysis through each and every match here in the D2L. Welcome in once again, Ben Merlini-Wu. And Ben, I mean, let's be honest. We saw EG just flat out crush Virtus.pro in game 1. And then VP came back and flat out crushed EG. And there was one factor that the winning teams all had in common, and that factor is named Slarter.
And we're going to see him banned out?
I don't know.
Is that going to be like the first ever Slarter ban?
As well, I mean, granted, Slarter certainly looked good on both sides in both cases, but I would say in game 1 there was the play of God, or excuse me, game 2, the play of God on Mirana out of mid, and Nahaz was popping up some fantastic stats regarding his play in the last 4 appearances he's had on Mirana. That's a very solid hero for him, especially running out of that mid position. I'm a little surprised actually that EG hasn't flat out banned the Mirana yet.
Allowed him to succeed with the constant Bane babysit in mid. MSS just played so well. He didn't die in mid, except minus that one gank at like 6 or 7 minutes. But with a Bane and bottom lane, you usually expect a melee hero to die. But Timbersaw was played very well. He actually got tons of farm too. He had higher CS than JO. But even with a 2-on-1 in mid and JO sucking, or not JO, MSS sucking it up and manhandling that lane, they were just not able to get that much aside from the T2 towers on top. And they needed more from, I think, Fear as well as JO. JO could have contributed more. Fear just like farmed up his treads and didn't really do anything else after that. He could have just pushed or had a dust on top and killed them there, but he didn't really do anything. They need more playmakers. Timbersaw can't do anything on his own. He needs a team to back him up. He needs to create space for other people, but what did he really create space for? JO, who got a 20-minute armlet, and Fear, who just didn't go for any build either, but they just got pushed down. You can't let a Slarter just farm a free blink like that. You can't let AA get an early level 6 win, or get a decent level 6 when he already has free farm for Slarter too. You just can't let these sort of things happen. Well, not when you have the early game advantage. If you're behind, yeah, sure, they're supposed to get their items, but when you take down 2 towers in less than 4 minutes, you think you'd be able to press that advantage.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's where everything really began and ended. I mean, as you mentioned, in mid, God needed help to have the success he did against MSS, so it came at a cost. He was under-leveled compared to MSS, as was the Bane, because they were spending so much time around each other in that compact middle lane. But they just left Slarter alone, and if you're going to do that, that's fine. You can, if you're not afraid of a free-farming Slarter, then okay, but you have to do something else, and really their skill build didn't jive with that. They took those 2 quick towers at top. We saw they were completely uncontested. Then they just fell back and just tried to free farm the Alchemist, and it's easy to see what the game plan was. Take what's given to you, fall back, free farm JO, take a mid-game win on the back of 30 minutes of Midas and Grievel's Greed. That just didn't work. The movement out of Virtus.pro was too good. EG a little slow to react in a lot of cases. And like you said, you can't lay it on one person. It was certainly a team effort to lose in such a convincing fashion. But JO's play was
team effort to lose. Yeah, let's lose, guys. You guys agree with that? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, losing by committee. But anyway, the JO, just his play in game 2 really wasn't all that it could be, and it certainly they cost him a lot. Shadow Fiend going to be picked up to go with Slarter, and this is going to be more mass armor reduction. The presence of the Dark Lord out of Shadow Fiend in conjunction with amplify damage. They're going to be able to take quick Roshans, and they're going to be able to blow up these 3 relatively squishy heroes in Pugna, Earthshaker, and Windrunner. Windrunner, of course, can windrun away from some of that physical damage, but EG now picking up a Rubik, they are going to be able to blow these heroes up, man. Like, you're talking, if Shadow Fiend gets ahead and gets up a quick damage item like a Shadow Blade, and starts putting points in the presence of the Dark Lord in conjunction with amplified damage, you might see a 2- and 3-shot Rubik. You really might.
I think that EG needs to put a very strong hero to pressure Shadow Fiend mid. Combine that with the roam from Rubik and or Earthshaker. This is not a passive Earthshaker. Hey, let's farm up for farm up some Ancients game. I think they need to put Windrunner in the off lane, Pugna in the safe lane, Rubik just constantly pressure the Shadow Fiend, get a snowbally hero mid, maybe like a Queen of Pain or something like that. And just try and take towers very, very early. They have to counter their like very weak early game by putting on their early game aggression. Is not to push towers down and farm up. That's not what you should do versus VP lineup. We saw what happened last game when they tried to play with that exact same style.
Yep. And this actually is reminiscent of Navi's lineup in our first play day. I can't remember what the exact draft was, but this is very similar to it. You just go, okay, that's fine. You want to go ahead and get maybe a more expected composition with your mid and your hard farmer, then you're going to have your roaming support Crystal Maiden, your offlane Darkseer, then they'll be looking to grab another support here. We're just going to run you over between 5 and 15 minutes. That seems to be the plan here. They have so much spam damage between Earthshaker, Windrunner, and Rubik in particular, excuse me, between the Pugno, Earthshaker, and Rubik in particular, then Windrunner, of course, with Power Shot in conjunction with Fade Bolt, then Decrepify damage to amplify everything on top of Earthshaker's ability to roam and get the job done. Oh, more armor reduction. Vengeful Spirit picked up. Not just more armor reduction, more damage amplification as well coming from her Vengeance Aura. Virtus Pro, they don't like you to have any armor. They want you running around with your skin cracking and bleeding all game.
And they're on Dire too, so that will lead to a very early Roshan. If Evil Genius says, "Oh no, that's like the worst thing they can pick,"
that doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. They might level 1 Rosh here. Let's see.
It's a full protect 1. I mean, they're going to, if they put Pugna mid, is it MSS playing? Okay, if they put Pugna mid, I think it's not as bad as our initial reactions were, but they have to roam a lot with Fog and Fear. That this is not a, hey, okay, Fog, just keep pulling a small camp and stack that, and get an early level 6 Fear. Yeah, just maybe I guess Fear can do this in mid. To deny Shadow Fiend, but they have to shut down G very, very hard. They need to pressure blow your brain. With Solo Windrunner is like okay at it. Pulling Earthshaker is like okay at it, but they really need kills, not to just limit their farm.
Here's the thing about Animage. You and I have observed, and I kind of hinted at, and I had a very gracious viewer actually after Nahaz was forced to leave during our last Eastern D2L match. Look up the stats on this. Animage fits in very well with the playstyle that 6.79 has really given rise to. And I was curious about what his success rate has been in post 6.79 Nota. He's actually the second most successful hero of all heroes with 20-plus professional matches played, sitting at around 60-70% win. Just because he is so hard to gank, he does do very well at split push. And, of course, he gives you that late-game safety that you always want if you're going to be trying to dodge ganks and split push out. So, I mean, it makes sense in that regard. I worry so much about the other 4 on EG. I mean, they just don't have anyone survivable whatsoever. If one of these heroes, be it the Slarder or be it the Shadow Fiend, gets too far ahead, then you've got a great supporting staff in the Crystal Maiden who's going to help all of these heroes remain very spammable. She's going to be very, very effective at roaming, especially in conjunction with this Vengeful Spirit. Very easy to underestimate just how strong Magic Missile can be early in the game if you want to get her active with one other hero. EG, I mean, their lineup is certainly not a flat-out outdraft, but they have a much more difficult lineup to execute than VP does. VP can just play stable, and I think they'll feel very confident heading towards the mid-game.
G already with 2 souls in mid. I mean, yeah, if they wanted to play like farmer game, why are you picking anti-mage? Like they don't. What heroes do they have? Like Darkseer, I guess is good, but the 3 main heroes that you're gonna have to worry about, Shadow Fiend, as well as Slardar, as well as Vengeful Spirit, they're just gonna rip you apart. He does not have any armor, or not that much armor. He has what, 3 armor, 2 armor at level 1.
Yeah, it's I mean, just this whole team, man. I mean, it's just, between Slardar, and between the Shadow Fiend, no one's going to have any armor ever. And basically, it's another one of those things where a nice thing of going with an aura strat like this, especially whenever the heroes work together so well, is if Virtus Pro, and as we see AA actually trading blows in the universe, if VP's able to take a nice gank fight and take down 2 or 3 heroes with a tier 1 down in particular, a tier 1 mid down, they're just going to be able to take Roshan every time they take a win because of the armor reduction. There's going to be nothing EG can do if they don't have a full 5 in position. So this, again, a very difficult to execute lineup for EG in comparison to VPs, who is going to just reward good play. Fear going to be spotted out, throws out the Fissure. There's a Decrepify onto God, but Frostbite onto Fear keeps him from pursuing it out, and one too few auto attacks lets God get away as the First Blood ends up going to Virtus Pro, anticipating the rotation of Evil Geniuses and picking Fear off. That is not the start they want with this lineup and what they're up against.
They adapted very well from game one. Remember, they didn't keep track of the Earthshaker. Now they block a spawn, they see him coming, and very easy kill. Fear sitting at 31 paltry experience, and he should have known that there's a ward there. Like, on top lane, Universe.
A little bit of a miscommunication there. AA was not in position to run that down. If he dives him like that, and AA's in position
behind MSS.
If he was in position behind that tier 1, they probably get a kill there too. And we hear Shaker trying to make something happen behind this. There's going to be an auto attack. Frostbite is there as well. Decrepify does some damage, but the Shadow Razors are there to secure the kill. And just in case they weren't, AA was there to help out as well. Virtus Pro is it's like a brand new team compared to what we've seen up until game 2. I mean, yes, they played fairly well against Alliance on day 1, but even then, they didn't feel this confident. Now they're moving well. The communication is there. And EG in a pretty deep hole already because both of those have happened in mid. You don't want God getting a good start on Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, this is just I think they need Fog to move too. This is just exactly what you don't want to happen in the early game. They're burning live Heaven's mana, but that's the only lane they're winning, and that's with AM leaving to harass. Like, he's not even getting any CS, but and miscommunication there. Telekinesis, but no blink to follow it up.
Was watching top lane, very well executed gank, and to be honest, I'm surprised Universe allowed himself to be caught out like that. It was obvious that they tried to dive him once in that situation. He got way too far forward after AA had cleared out a mid and just got caught. There's really no other way to put it. Feeling a little too confident with Windrun and paying the price for it. We've got Fear up here now, so coming to help Universe out and hopefully get something done. Fear has not had a good early game. He's still just level 1, and Fissure there to just joint the initiation of Blow and AA that time. Certainly saved his buddy, but how many times have we seen underleveled Earthshakers? And now, with it being 4 minutes in, underleveled Earthshakers just really can't contribute all that much. Fear's in some trouble.
Yep, and MSS is in trouble too. Shadow Fiend got an early start. Light of Heaven.
Yep. A little bit of poor communication again. That's a couple of times we've seen a rotation just show its face enough to scare people away. Universe staying out front. In the meantime, at bottom, Jo is being given some room. That's the one bright spot EG has. His farm is quite good, sitting at 27 CS at 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, G's getting way too much out of the middle, though. I mean, he has had a lot of supports come and help him out, but EG needs to counter with the same AA right behind MSS in middle. He might die again.
And AA right there. Pugna Ward goes down, but God's there. Shadow Razors will be in position, and good body block from AA.
On G.
Yep.
Or from, Fear. Yeah, this Earthshaker, not the same as the Game 1 Earthshaker.
Yep. Fear just struggling quite a bit, and saw Nahaz pop that up, and he just looked it up to confirm it. But not only, whenever I first brought up,
Universe on top getting killed by Bloated Brain.
Yep, able to win run away. Didn't think you'd be able to get him. Win run was off cooldown, and we're gonna have another rotation out of AA. Oh, Universe win runs on cooldown for 5 seconds.
He doesn't have mana.
120 seconds still. Right clicks should be enough. Oh no, barely able to get away and salve up. So the lack of mana there, costing them another kill, but still forcing him back. But and then
he had a clarity there instead of a branch, it would be an easy kill.
The stat in the hash just popped up. When Animage post 6.79 has the highest win rate of any professionally played hero with 20 plus appearances. So definitely fitting in well with the 6.79 playstyle, but they're going to need a lot out of him. As of right now, it's 0-4. Virtus Pro dominating every lane but bottom. 35 CS. Pretty much the lone hope, as Jo has notched a decent tally of gold.
Yeah, what does he expect to do, though, later?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get EG's game plan. They're going to farm up on anti-mage, but it's not like Slaughter in game 1 and game 2, where you get a blink, you start crushing. You get a treads and blink and earn, I think, in second game, and you start crushing. This is not that type of game. If anti-mage gets a battle fairy, he's still going to melt. If he gets a manta style, he's still going to melt too, because Slaughter is going to have a blink by the time he does that, and he's just probably going to die in the duration of a Slithering Crush.
Yep.
And Shadow Fiend 2 is going to have his fair share of items. He's 2-0-0. He's second on list. Last is just trailing anti-mage by 3. the supports on the side of VP have been playing way better than they usually been.
Oh, yeah. This is, again, you can feel it. This feels like a different squad. This feels like the Virtus Pro of old. I mean, VP always characterized as a fairly aggressive team who like to make space for carries with good support rotation. We just haven't seen that for the most part throughout their 3 appearances in the D2L. Wow, we're actually going to see Rubik just get a solo kill on the Crystal Maiden. So finally, EG makes their way onto the board.
Don't know what he was doing down there.
But, yeah, Virtus Pro, this feels like a much more confident, much more deliberate kind of Virtus Pro squad. At top, Blow's going to be caught with the fissure. Power shots there. Can EG? Oh, nice try on the shackle. Just a little bit too wide of an angle. So they do manage to force Blow off a farm, at least for a little while.
I wouldn't even say that it's like VP playing a lot better. I think it's just EG playing so much worse than game 1. Like Fear, he gave up first blood by just walking mid. He didn't hit the fissure on the right side. He should have suspected that they have a ward up here, but he didn't actually have sentries either to counter a ward. And then we see MSS get caught out a lot mid, even though the supports have been rotating top and the supports are late to ward. We see Fogged not really trying to keep down Shadow Fiend, just like Zonia Lido having a little bit, but he's still getting a lot out of bottom. And their draft has been just like the anti-mage pick is still like very question marky in my eyes. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just EG just not playing well in games 2 and 3.
God, with an Ogre Club up to go with his Wraith Band, he will be looking to rush out that Battle Fury. And why wouldn't he? When you look at EG's squad, what do they have outside of magic damage? Nothing. Like, really, they have no right click. They have nothing physical to speak of. If he gets up a Battle Fury or a BKB, he's just going to be able to adjust about 1 versus 5 because Jayo's going to have no damage. He's going to be able to outright click him, and he'll be able to survive everything else EG has to deal with him.
MSS trying to do something in the middle, but Pugna is a snowbally type of hero too. You need to be able to put a lot of pressure on your lane. You need to be able to push down towers, and he can't do either right now just because NS and A have constantly been there. Fear is just sitting on top, desperately trying to protect Universe, but Universe is not the important hero here. It's Pugna.
Yeah. I mean, Universe, with a set of phase boots up, that's nice. One would imagine he'll be the mech bearer for this team, so getting a fast mech up would certainly be of assistance. But dedicating 3 heroes to secure Universe farm, certainly not the best way to spend time. And now Jayo's under a little bit more pressure as 2 have come down. And if they're able to shut down his farm, the one thing that EG might have to really feel good about this early game is going to evaporate as well.
Looks like there's a smoke from AA looking for another kill on MSS.
MSS playing careful, dodges a shadow raise that time. Fog going to rotate over as well. Fear's going to make his way over. They're going to end up spawning out Fear almost certainly, depending on how you look at it. AA shows his face in mid. MSS gets off the decrep and going to be caught with the fissure, but no way to follow it up. Now they're going to try to life drain him. Fog going to end up dying. Those shackle connects. The Universe has to turn around, so AA makes it away. Frostbite from NS during the good rotation, and that's a double kill going to God, living up to his namesake 6-1, and of those 6 kills, 4 belong to a mid Shadow Fiend. He is just about level 10, Merlini. His net worth climbing higher and higher, 5,200. And this has been an anti-mage who, for the most part, has had all the farm he could want. Not only is he trailing the Shadow Fiend in farm, he's trailing by a considerable amount in overall net worth.
They need better execution on that gank in mid. If Universe shoots a power shot instead of a shackle, the guy is dead. And Rubik like circled around, but got double raised by G, was forced to use telekinesis on him instead of the Ventral Spirit, gets stunned out and then dies too. So they're just lacking the teamwork, lacking coordination that we saw them in game 1, and they are just falling apart. And VP drafted like a decently greedy lineup. I don't want to say super greedy because they have CM and VS for the early game, but Slaughter has not died yet. Shadow Fiend has not died yet. And if those 2 heroes have 0 deaths like 15-20 minutes into the game, they are just going to decimate Anti-Mage and the rest of EG. Yeah,
this is just, I mean, we take a look at the goal at 11 minutes in. This is a plus 2,000 advantage without a single tower down, and pretty much that entire plus 2,000 advantage is due to Shadow Fiend and, of course, just plays in mid coming out of supports. And I'll be honest, right now, I feel like the player of the game hang on, and that's going to be caught out by J.O. and company. There's a Mana Void trying to secure him, but he's able to make it away. They're going to stick on Light of Heaven. Here comes AA, though. AA with a swap, can't get into range. Are they going to dive, forcing the TP out of Fear? Fear still just level 3. He is horrendously underleveled at this point. Level 3 compared to NS is level 7 or damn near level 7. And AA and NS both are almost level 7. Both of the supports are doubling up Fear at this point. He's only got 2 points into Fissure. And in the meantime, Pugna does manage to take a tower.
He's looking for a Requiem.
Not going to find it. Looks like AA might find MSS, though. MSS going to go hide in the trees.
Yeah, Fear just did not adapt well to one single observer ward. And we've seen just one ward just like totally screw over Earthshakers. And they either need to be up there early to prevent the ward if they don't know how to play around it, or they just, I don't know, they need to be more adaptive and do something else around the map. Dual roam with Rubik. If you miss your Fissure, sure, just telekinesis him on the opposite side, and there goes your pseudo block. But they're just not getting any miles out of it.
Good Fissure at bottom. Yep, good Fissure blocked him out. There's a vacuum trying to buy time and a swap. He got away. Light of Heaven is going to scurry home while EG feeds 2 more. AA, are you kidding me, man? He has been everywhere, making plays in every way. And just heard a Requiem going off somewhere. There it is. Oh, he's cleaning it.
Triple or quad stack, I believe.
Yeah. AA has just gone berserk, and this is what good support play can do. 8-1. Virtus.pro dominating this game. Just plus 2,000 gold. I guess if there's one thing EG can feel good about, it's the fact that they have not lost towers. In fact, they have taken the tower out of mid. But the map control, while still viable, is just not going to make up for the fact that everyone on their team is in horrendous shape. I mean, look at in levels. Look at the experience difference. We're coming up on 7,500 experience difference between these teams when you've basically drafted nothing but supports. I mean, yes, Pugna mid, he's not really a support, but he's a snowballer. He needs to be ahead, and he's not far enough ahead. Windrunner, rushing a mechanism, that'll help. But what team fight capability do you have? Fogged is level 5. Shaker is level 4. Compare that to level 7 on NS and to level almost 9 on the Darkseer and level 8 on Binge.
One thing that's very strange about this whole series is that none of the games have been that close. Like the series might be close and the teams might be fairly evenly matched, but the games are just like not decided within like 10-15 minutes, but one team has a very, very large advantage 10 to 15 minutes in, and it's, oh, I guess not second game, but it's just like, I guess 20 minutes in, it's just kind of wide open from there. And if VP continues this and like extends like a 7,000, 8,000, I don't really see EG as a comeback team, not with this lineup.
And as we could see, God's early BKB, not just early, but early to the point that it's one of a very select number of times you're ever going to see this item come out in a professional match at this speed. God finds himself a haster, and he's going to go looking for a kill. He's going to spot all fogged. He's going to get the telekinesis off. Very quick reaction. Not going to matter. G's going to be able to pursue him out. This is a free kill. Shackle going to miss. And God just takes yet another kill and adds that to his total of 7. 7-0 on G right now. And he might just go ahead and rush this down. He's got about a quarter time left on his haste rune. He's going to get into position at the very least. And we'll see how hard they want to press this. With that BKB, again, what do they have? They can't damage him. They really can't.
They're trying to defend this tower, but AM TP'd out. So they're at best they're going to be 4 strong, and I think they need 5 to take down G right now. They should just leave this tower. There's no way they should stay and defend.
Yep. AA spotted out. They might be able to pick him off. Here comes God, though. They can't damage him. He's going to pop his BKB. Tower damage, the most he has to worry about. They're just going to run EG all the way back to the well. Nice swap from AA. Universe using the wind run, but shouldn't matter. And MSS turns it around. Nice fissure from Fear coming out of the woods. Now on the top side, Blow Your Brain going to catch Fear out, make him pay. Or check that. God's going to continue to pile up the kills. He's at 8-0. Universe still here at top. We see NS has actually managed to split push top. Universe manages a juke blow. Don't know that it's going to matter. Vacuum will be there from Light of Heaven. Not even going to need it. That's a godlike streak. 15.5 minutes in, and G is living up to his name, both figuratively and literally. 11-2. The gold beginning to spiral out of control. They're going to lose a tower. The experience still completely out of control. What can EG do, Merlini?
Draft better.
Play better Dota, I guess would be the answer.
Win.
I mean, EG looks so... And Anti-Mage actually does manage to find a kill, so picking off the Crystal Maiden. Fog might be in trouble as there's a swap. Yep, AA going to spend it. And staying ahead of him, now going to turn, throw the stun, just waiting on help that's not going to come. And Fogged Chasing AA away. It's like a
Steal the
slap
swap.
fight.
Oh wait, no, he doesn't have enough mana for swap anyways.
But
Shadow Fiend coming in mid. He has Blink Dagger too. 16-minute Blink Dagger, Treads, and BKB in bottle.
here we go. Oh, that's a DD. Oh, Fear got one shot at for half his health. Fissure buys him enough time, but yeah, this tower not going to be standing for long. The chunks God is taking out right now just through the roof, and EG going to show up to try and defend this again. His BKB's off cooldown, so what do you do? You're just not going to be able to hurt him if they decide to push.
Steal Roshan.
Yeah.
Easy. Slaughter almost has his Blink Dagger too. Once he gets that, it is just over for EG. Like, I absolutely do not see them coming back from this game. And 7,500 gold lead. VP just gets away with a super greedy draft with very nice rotation from their supports. EG just can't punish it in the least.
Minus 18 armor on that Roche attempt between Presence of the Dark Lord, and God now with the level up there has max level Presence of the Dark Lord. I mean, it just, I don't know. I mean, the Shadow Fiend pick makes so much sense. And tell you what, man, we've now reached a point where in D2L West play we're going to be able to say that Slaughter has won 3 in a row. He appearing in every match here in this first series of the day. And at 18 minutes, EG looking like they're going to have to take a win in the next few minutes. Otherwise, this game all but basically all over but the cry. And Fear lands a fissure. God just tanking through, does not care. There's a stun on the Universe. He's down. Universe, the one hero other than Jo who's gotten something done this game. AA Telekinesis are going to try to pursue this out. No Blink, or Blink is up on Blow. There's a swap, and Fogged, blown up. The armor reduction is just silly. We're seeing these heroes get 2 and 3 shot at this point.
It really is silly. G with 200 damage, with 223 damage, with Vengeance Aura too. This is ridiculous. Yeah, where is this Blink? Oh, he actually bought a Blink and then sold it, so he gets this a Butterfly of him. But 18-minute Butterfly, that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
And there's a nice fissure. They might be able to get AA because of it. Dodges the power shot, and Shackle's there. And Universe going to win run in. Here we go. EG maybe showing a pulse. NS going to get the Frostbite off. Mana Void's not off in time. Does manage to get it off, but BKB up. We see the Requiem go off. They managed to.
Oh, he's getting trapped by creeps because of the Requiem.
And he gets his Butterfly up. So, yeah, that's a sub 19-minute Butterfly BKB treads on God. And don't forget he lost gold on that. I didn't see. Did he sell the Blink Dagger fast enough to get the full recovery of gold?
I'm not sure, but I would assume so with this Butterfly already out.
Yep. So I'd like to see a stat on that. I mean, his BKB Blink before he sold the Blink, according to our awesome stats man Nahaz, was the second fastest in competitive Dota history. And now I'm sure he's doing the legwork looking up Butterfly BKB. I would be shocked if it came out faster in any other match. I really would.
He can get a Desolator too if he wants. I think he should. I think he still needs a Blink for mobility though, just to follow out with Slaughter. He's still having like some trouble, just like running around in fights. He could also get an MKB. I'm not exactly sure why he got Butterfly, because what physical damage is he scared of? I mean, evasion is nice and all, but not when you're snowballing, not when you're out of control offensive power, and they have a lot of magic damage. So Blink so you can reposition to like opposite side of Shaker, or just Blink on top of him with BKB, and just right click him down. It's not like he's gonna have a Blink anytime soon. Oh, actually, he has that 1100 gold, so it might come out soon. Oh, Jo on top lane. Like if he had a Blink right now, he can kill him, right? Boom, he blinks after him, and then he can kill him. But like his Butterfly, like it's nice to do damage and life steal and stuff.
Oh, very nice vacuum. Caught all 3. This could be a big win for EG. Echo Slam goes off. Does end up trading 1 for 1, though. DS traded for the Earthshaker. Finally, that mech comes out on Universe. MSS, oh, blow your brain. Lands a big Slithering Crush. Stunned him out. AA might end up dying regardless. Decrepify plus Nether Blast on blow. Oh, nice Shackle. They're going to turn this around.
Why would you get a Vanguard versus like this lineup? Again, you're not scared of physical damage.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, I thought that EG would have no chance of coming back, but EG breathing some sign of life too.
Yeah.
And with this not so great item choices by VP with their huge gold, I mean, what's a gold lead if you can't even spend it on the right items? So we will see.
There it is. That not only the fastest, but the fastest in crushing fashion. The next closest contender for God's performance, getting up the BKB Butterfly. 5 minutes coming out later. Anyway, I agree with you. VP is trying like hell to just open the door for EG. It's like they're basically building items for a late game anti-mage, and it's 21 minutes. Like, you don't need a butterfly right now. He's gone Battle Fury Vlad's, so Jo might be able to start showing up to fight soon if he gets a Yash up. And just imagine if God built a Deso with the armor reduction from amplified damage and presence of the Dark Lord. I'm pretty sure they would just walk into the Roche pit when he respawns, and Roche would just, I don't know, cut his own throat and hand them the Aegis.
It's a blink. Like, all they need to do, blink, stun with Solar, whatever. He might die because he went Vanguard instead of BKB, and then blink BKB ultimate with Shadow Fiend into a DS vacuum. That fight is over, like right on the spot. And if you get 2 or 3 heroes, like Anti-Mage doesn't have a BKB, so it's not like he's going to be able to get out of it. Noah's pretty much going to be able to get out of it, and then they'll just win the fight. Pugna Ward, it won't really matter. So they can just take it that way instead. They're trying to just brute force them with items, I suppose, with just the right click potential.
Down goes the next to last outer tier tower remaining for Virtus Pro.
There's the blink on Shaker too. He should not have this blink this fast, and they did give him too much.
Yep, no, I agree. This is EG does have a shot here. The Vanguard pickup on Blow in particular is just bizarre.
He was in an uncontested lane pretty much. I mean, Universal was like kind of there, but was he really scared of the Windrunner?
Yeah.
With the Vengeful Spirit always backing him up.
Yeah. It's I mean, even if he picks up the Vit booster and hangs onto it just for HP, that I understand. Then go ahead and build it into a heart later. Hang on, blink on the MSS. AA's there to follow it up with a magic missile. Good chaining of the stuns. The Crepify buys some time. There's a swap to the low ground though. That might get him away. They're trapped. Oh, AA makes one of his first major missteps of the game. And MSS, there we go. Hung around a bit too long. Here comes Jo, though, to reinitiate. AA's there in trouble. Shackle won't land, but he won't need it. Light of Heaven gets off a vacuum wall. NS is there to try to help. Light of Heaven staying alive with his mechanism. Universe in trouble. Will be melted down by the Ion Shell, and one karate chop right in the back of his legs. Here comes the rest of Virtus Pro charging into the Radiant side jungle. Fear's going to go ahead and scatter away as Fogged heads for the well as well. So a 2-for-1 trade there. And Virtus Pro taking a win they kind of desperately needed. Right now they need a Rax. They need to take a set of Rax to go, okay, now we can maybe sit back and feel a little bit more comfortable.
Dang, MSS actually has a Scepter too. I'm surprised that he farmed that up.
Yeah. Just too much time. I mean, think how good Virtus Pro's movement was during the early phases of the game. And right there, they reacted and got a nice kill. But Jo's got a Yasha, man. He's going to have his ultimate orb up at 600 gold. He is not far away from having a Manta. Manta will come out in 3 or 4 minutes if they don't do something about it.
We have a somewhat close game, fellas.
Yeah. I mean, look at the gold. It was down in the 10,000 gold range. And has been, I mean, the experience even, which was one of their biggest factors in terms of this lead because EG, other than the anti-mage, is so reliant on abilities. They had a huge experience lead. Now that's been cut in half. I mean, it's 11-0 right now for God, and it just doesn't feel like it's enough because they're not moving as well as they did. Their decision-making not quite where it was just moments ago.
Shadow Fiend going for it. A Satanic too. Does he need more survivability? It's not like he's dying.
Yeah.
At all. He just has trouble catching up to people. People will just blink away, whatever. They need a sheep too, maybe up on Light of Heaven, but he's actually very far away from that, surprisingly, because considering he's only died one time, he has a blink himself.
And looks like they want to clear out the last tower here. They've got God plus NS plus AA moving down this lane. It's Fogged in Universe. They should just be able to blow these heroes up. And yeah,
they're at the right place at the right time. EG's playing a lot better now in the last 5 minutes of the game. Now that VP just like, hey, you guys want to farm up your things? Sure, we'll go ahead and let you. While we'll get not great items. But if VP gets the Roshan, they can probably press a T3. It is very hard though. They have to push up against a Pugna Ward with Pugna Blast, Earthshaker Fissure, Windrunner with her Power Shot and Fade Bolt. That is a lot of anti-push to deal with. And if someone manages to blink in, they can potentially lock the rest of the team out with Fissure. And same with Swap, too.
Fogged actually managed to steal Slithering Crush. Great spell for him to have.
I don't think he wants to be walking in melee range. Not against these heroes.
Oh,
it is nice to have, though.
Well, it's not against these heroes. He doesn't want to walk into melee range, but having it just in case, they engage on him, just in case Slarder jumps on him.
Out.
And Mana Void canceled out. Now he'll spend it. There's the mech, though, from Light of Heaven. Isn't enough. Blow your brain on the other side of the trees. And Jo and MS. There we go. And this is going to be a big pick if they manage to make it happen.
Very nice to Crep, though.
There's the fissure. Great team effort to keep Jo alive right there. And Fog not going to be nearly as lucky. Oh, he's going to try to get away, but the crush bought him some time. But the fact they kept Anti-Mage alive there, pretty big deal for Jo. Up at top, God, going to find some more free farm. Windrunner picks up a 4-staff, not a bad item for her. But, yeah, I mean, we're coming up on 27 minutes now. And it's tough to call. Anti-Mage is still down quite a bit, but he's beginning to feel kind of threatening.
He bought his Manta style, and their teamwork's a lot better now. Bugging up, managing to defensively decrypt Jo while he was stunned out, and definitely going to die to the right clicks from Shadow Fiend. That was a big play. Jo also hesitated on the Mana Void. CM literally walked into him up the hill, and there was another hero there, and they still weren't able to get the kill. Like, all it needs to do is like right click, boom, Mana Void, blink out, boom, easy 1-0. Instead, EG, with their hesitation, actually manages to lose one in the process without getting a kill on him. Very nice reaction from Light of Heaven and being able to mech him out in time. And Roshan, this guy is just going to melt.
Yep, minus 20 armor whenever all of the minus armor reductions are stacked. And that's something that Anti-Mage is going to have to deal with all game. So, I mean, as much as we're kind of all hemming and hawing at EG being able to play their way back into this despite being down so hugely, there's a nice pickup as AA finishes that pie ball in one shot.
That's a really nice pickup.
Yep. That's what they need against this team. I mean, the Anti-Mage is now an issue.
You're staying up the hill, though.
Up, Jo. Frostbitten and Light of Heaven trying to get away. They're going to be able to bring him down. Tried the Mana Void, not even needed. Here comes AA and God, though. Don't know if they want to engage in a full 5, and they don't. And EG, man, they were on life support, but now I guess you could say they're in physical therapy. They're beginning to show some progress, taking baby steps, but steps nonetheless. And Virtus.pro, while at the advantage, might be beginning to feel a little bit of a sense of urgency. Satanic on God, though, certainly a comforting item in that regard.
I don't know why EG is pushing here. Not into an Aegis. They can't kill Shadow Fiend twice.
Blow catches a couple with a stun. There's a stun out from Fear from the woods. AA in trouble. That gets off the Requiem as well as the freezing field. Fogged and Jo both going to make a run for it behind the fight. A bunch of wounded heroes. They end up only getting one. That's MSS. They're going to end up tracking down Fogged in the meantime. And Fear going to throw out yet another fissure from the low ground. Blow might blink after him and will. And, yep, there's the amp as well as the sprint. There's the blink out of Fear. Starter will have his blink back up in 5 seconds. And looks like he wanted the low ground and not going to pursue it out. So, slight win for VP there, but EG giving up a little bit more. Yeah.
I mean, they had Darkseer, but they're still so far behind. Looking at the gold graph, almost 10,000, and they have Shadow Fiend with the Aegis. Like, if Shadow Fiend just like walks into them, they have to run away. So their only hope is that they don't defend it, which is a very, very low hope. VP is not that poor decision making.
Last Fear 2 drops. They've still got the Aegis up, and God now has that blink dagger up. Slarter buying the item that makes sense, the BKB. So Vanguard tanks him up a smidgen, sure, but BKB.
Oh, they foul Jo. He actually uses Manta style too. Blow your brains blink up is in 3 seconds.
Yep.
They catch him. I think so.
Yep, there it is. Getting the crush off. Can they get the support there? They're going to continue to chase him out.
Just blink across the trees and TP.
Yep. Light of Heaven's right there. And, there we go. God tracks him down. One more auto attack. That'll do it. Big pick off there.
There you go with the blink G. There you go.
Yep. And he's going to be able to push off this because the creeps were already shoved. With no Jo, no Earthshaker, they are going to struggle here. Fog manages to steal Shadow Rays. That'll help him clear out some creeps. But God, with that Aegis, not going to care to face tank a little bit.
He could just blink in from BKB and probably pick off Fog. But he doesn't have to do that. He can just man up on the tower. But Earthshaker, he needs the Echo Slam. They need the Echo.
The lifesteal for God is just huge right now. He is sustaining through all of this. Now he's going to be telekinesis. Keep in mind he does have the Aegis. Long time on that. Good swap, though, to get Light of Heaven out of trouble. MSS pulling back. There's the buyback out of the Anti-Mage, so they succeeded in what they probably wanted to do, if nothing else. They may still maintain the push, but just getting the buyback out of Anti-Mage basically makes this an all-in push.
Is there going to be a big Echo, though, from Fear?
And
G is just unstoppable. He can just man up on the tower. Nobody can stop him.
Yep.
Except apparently a Pugna and a life drain.
That Scepter's legit on Pugna, man. And having to deal with that on Unlimited cooldown. There's a decrep. And Shackle not going to latch. That could have been a big coup.
Jo blinked in.
Yep, going for it. Here comes Fear out as well. They're going to be able to get God's Aegis, but the freezing field is there. Fear going to end up dropping. Jo not in the best of shape either following that. God comes right back up, and Jo forced to run back and reset. Melee racks will end up dropping to God's right click, no doubt about it, as there's just no way they can engage. We see Rubik actually did steal wall there, so nice play by him. But taking the melee racks, looks like that might be enough, and God going toe-to-toe with his own doppelganger. Throws out the Shadow Rays, but they'll be happy to just take a racks there and go ahead and back. Jo, with that buyback, suffers so very much. I mean, his net worth now 10,000 behind the Shadow Fiend.
He shouldn't have died to Slaughterhood. That was just silly by him. Too predictable with his first blink, so that Slaughterhood can just chase after him, knowing that he immediately is going to TP to the right side and go to the Ancients, and then just not blink TPing out after that when his blink is on cooldown. Because blink is what, 12-second cooldown? His blink's on 5-second cooldown.
Yep.
Just blink in the trees after his first one, and then just TP out, and he's scot-free. He has the he had the track on him, or the amplified damage, so he can get vision of him, but before his team can react to, they just like walked all the way from here to kill him. That was a really big pick, though. Nice play by Billy Your Brain to secure that kill on Jo. And now Jo, his farm has definitely been hindered.
Yeah, I mean, the buyback there, very costly. He's hanging out in the woods right now and has no one around, so don't know what he's, just spending time with the trees.
Sheep. I don't know how MSS is able to farm this much, considering his team's under so much pressure. AM is given the higher farm priority too, and he's died 4 times.
Yeah, it's not as if he's like 4-0, and now Fog caught out way too far forward. That's a very goofy death from Fog.
It's a very unimpactful death, though. It doesn't matter though, because VP's not going to be like, oh my gosh, Rubik's down, let's push now. It's just a whatever kill. He has to take risks now and then to get items and push out lanes, but yeah.
You're in mid, Fear. Turning tail and making his way back. This could be a potential game-ending push if they can take another win here. God.
Yeah, they need big echo, but VP has been very good about splitting up, though.
God with his Crystallis up now. His damage through the roof. He's hitting for 360-odd damage. Just pure right-click. When he crits, he's going to have the potential to possibly crit down, especially with armor reduction. If he crits a target that has amplified damage, he could one-shot probably 3 or 4 heroes on EG right now. And he's going to come up. There we go. We saw Blow Your Brain go in. He's going to be telekinesed, and the life drain is there. MSS with that life drain.
Nice Shackle.
Oh, there's a swamp. Beautiful vacuum, and the Requiem on top of it all. Freezing field, gonna be enough to clean it up. There's the Slithering Crush, and just like that, no buyback on Jo. Echo goes off, but kind of a last-ditch effort. Yeah, we can see Fear just evaporating. Yep, GG's will come out.
Second.
Yep. And trying to defend it out. God just too big. Took him a little longer than I think many of us anticipated it might, but when you're saying that at 35 minutes, not exactly a bad thing, not exactly a horrendous thing. And Virtus.pro gonna fall back, possibly heal up a little, but yeah, MSS and Jo really the big ones that had any hope. MSS no buyback, Jo no buyback, and we'll see Virtus.pro close this out right now.
Looks like EG still wants to hold on, but I mean, Anti-Mage, yeah, he doesn't have any items. He still doesn't have anything that will let him one-on-one the Shadow Fiend.
And just going back to get the creep wave, playing it safe. Rest of Virtus.pro healing up. Reminder that following the conclusion of this series, our second series of the day will be Alliance versus Fnatic, and going to be a run back as those teams already met once in the Dota 2 Champions League, and if I'm not mistaken, Alliance came out ahead there. Fnatic has been looking very good. We saw them in action yesterday, and I really like the way that team was looking. So, very fun match coming up, and that'll be following the conclusion of this. Not sure what time it is exactly right now, but probably going to be about 30 to 15 minutes from now. There's going to be a swap on AAA, and Fear eats the stun. God right there, the BKB up. They just can't touch him. Vacuum brings Fear in, as well as Jo. Jo's going to get off a Mana Void. Jo doing a decent job of surviving through, but in the end, that armor reduction, the right click, just way too high. And Virtus.pro, after getting utterly dominated in Game 1 and honestly not looking all that great across their first 2 appearances here in the D2L Western Division, manages to take on EG in their debut, win 2 in a row in games 2 and 3, and improve their record to 1-2 while knocking EG down to 0-1.
Slardar OP.
Yeah, that's real life. In real life, what just happened is Slarter was picked 3 times in the D2L and won every game he was picked. So, this is what's so fun about these big patches like 6.79. Not only do they adjust existing heroes and of course, mess with the meta and such. You see heroes like Slarter, who, yes, he was picked at the international, and yes, he's been an occasional situational pick. All of a sudden, you have teams that are just like, no, he's a pick we want. We're willing to go with him. And I'll tell you what, God, really the MVP of this entire series, especially here in Game 3. 17-0-7, did not die once. Finished with 803 GPM, 796 XP per minute. What an outstanding performance from him, not just in this game, but in Game 2 as well on Mirana.
Well, I think you could have gotten a blink earlier, but aside from that, he played very, very well.
Just can't satisfy you. Can't believe early. Just never enough. Never enough.
They had like a 7,500 gold lead, and they almost let EG get back in the game. That is, you can't let that happen.
I agree. It was a little closer than it could have been, but nonetheless, just short of 36 minutes, 35-59, the official game time, 12-31. The final kill score. I'm your host, Aaron A.C. Chambers. First of our 2 best of 3s here in the D2L Western Division in the books for the day. Gonna check and see what time it is. Okay, we got about 25 minutes, give or take, until our next series. That'll be Alliance taking on Fnatic, and highly anticipated. Fnatic, I think, is a team. I mean, when you look at our field here in the D2L Western Division, obviously the 2 standout teams are Na'Vi and Alliance. But looking ahead as these teams begin to shake themselves out, you can't say, I mean, Fnatic is such a good team. They're a real playoff contender, especially with EG, another pretty highly evaluated team when you look at the depth of our field top to bottom. They take a loss here to Virtus Pro. Virtus Pro looking like they might be able to return to their stride sometime soon. So even early on, with this just being a single round robin, each team only seeing each other team only once, pretty much every match matters. Very easy to fall into a hole like BP very nearly did here today, but improving their record to 1-2, they're certainly in contention along with everyone else. All right, guys, we'll be back here in about 25 minutes. Again, Alliance versus Fnatic, our second series of the day. On behalf of myself, on behalf of Merlini, Nahaz Dota, of course, who was our stats guy throughout that last series, and of course our producer, Conrad. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. We'll be right back here on the HyperX D2L. See you then.